Conversations in the Community. I'm your host, Dania Parker-Smith with parkbench.com, South London-Wortley, as well as New Vista Premier Realty here in London. So today, I just want to say, as the host of Conversations in the Community, I am so privileged to meet and speak with so many great minds in our community. And today, I'm here speaking with Wanda Davis. She is an energy coach, life coach, and a keynote speaker within our community and outside of our community. So we're going to get to know her today, find out a little bit more about her and her business and the things that she can do to help her clients. So thank you so much for joining me today, Wanda.
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's great to meet you this way.
Oh, I absolutely am privileged. So Wanda, tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay, well, it's kind of growing from starting out as a Reiki teacher, Reiki therapist, to including all sorts of different energy modalities. And then I realized I was talking to people, supporting them. And so I went and got my life coaching credentials, because that's what I really like to kind of think of myself as the hub that way, doing the coaching. But then, of course, I have so many other tools that help people, energy therapies being one of them. But I also am a radionics practitioner, and that fits very well in with the coaching aspect for, different types of goals and health aspects that you want to be working towards, as well as I also am a Gene Keys guide. And so as a Gene Keys guide, I can help you guide you through the Gene Keys, because really it is all about your own experience. But again, it fits so in well with the coaching, because that's what coaching is, right? It's the asking questions, helping you open up your world more. And of course, it's also your inner world. And that's why I call myself the personal growth alchemist, is because I'm all about you looking at your own personal growth. And if there are things that you want to change there, what can we change?
That's amazing, because as a woman in her 50s, it's like you've had this journey that you take. And I think when you get to our age, you completely appreciate the journey that you've had, but there's such a revelation of more, right? Yes. And I
there
think
is
that
so much more.
Right? Where are you originally from? And tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, it was like I was originally actually born in Oshawa, Ontario, but I primarily grew up in Brampton, Ontario. So, kind of part of the GTA. It wasn't quite, GTA then, right. But, and then of course, I was very lucky to attend McMaster University in Hamilton. Mm-hmm. So I lived in Hamilton probably for about 10 years or so. And there I did my undergrad in biochemistry, and I also have a master's of science, in medical sciences. So I spent a good decade or more in Hamilton. It's a great community. Well, I have all that background of science, of, being able to do the research, being able to ask the questions. So that's kind of like, but then I have lived out in my, say, left brain for most of my life. So therefore, as I kind of opened up to doing energy work, I've realized that creative right brain, of what areas I can actually expand into as well. So being able to use all of my different types of experiences to help support people along their way is kind of what I feel I'm here to do.
Life journey speaks for a lot, but I'm so glad that you shared all of that background with you, because the wind is
yeah. But I was going to say too, I've lived here in London for about 30 years now. 30 years, okay. After we were living in Hamilton when we first got married and had our first child there, but then my husband got a job in London, and I was easily able to get a job as a research tech up at the university at the time. And so, we've lived in London since 1990.
Awesome. So, having all that background and working there really helps people understand and to know and to trust you, right? So I think that that's great that you shared all of that. Now, how did that translate into going into the field you're in today?
Well, I'm actually also a teacher. So
Okay,
after
I want everything here.
yeah, and that's just it. Is I've had experiences, right? I've had so many experiences. So after working in the research lab after about 10 years or so, essentially I got bored. It was time to expand my horizons again. And so I applied to teachers college thinking, okay, I'm going to teach science, realizing I didn't want to teach science after I got that degree and everything. Whereas realized my biggest strengths were in supporting students. Quite often in my teacher roles, I've been like student success teacher, the learning support teacher, helping students with disabilities. So I've done, and also teacher librarian, because that's helping support people with their research and everything as well. So that's kind of my teacher life. And it was in one of the schools that I was working in. They have a big wellness thing going on. And so we really focused on wellness. And so I was actually introduced to meditation there. I had never meditated in my life, but it was, okay, I'm going to sign up for this. And even just listening to the meditation leader take us through the meditation, I could feel the differences in my body. It was like, oh, I'm starting to be able to relax. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is different. And so I quickly signed up to learn Reiki from that meditation leader. And that was kind of the beginning of my energy therapy journey as well, because I have learned so many different energy therapies over the years to help support people. Now, one other thing I'm going to throw in there is one of the things that's also occurred in my life is I have scoliosis. So that is being the curvature of the spine. So I've essentially probably had that my whole life. But I had surgery when I was 16, of course, right there in the middle of teenagerhood. Right. I had major back surgery, had to wear a back brace. And so that, of course, took a little bit of recovery. But essentially, since then, I've really had a lot of pain in my body. Of course, I had pain in my body before. That's why they did the surgery. It was to stop it from getting worse. But it's not like it was curable. I've always had pain in my body. And so when I started bringing in this idea of relaxation and the energy therapies, realizing how much it can help my body. My body is usually so tense in dealing with the scoliosis that's always still trying to twist. And then the bars that are in my back, my body getting used to that. Being able to relax is kind of a big thing. So realizing how much these energy therapies and of course, everything else that I do now as well, like the radionics is great for pain as well. So I also, one of the talks that I give is all about the gift of pain. So it's all about helping people realize that pain can be a gift. The whole idea, it's there to tell you something. What can you learn from it? It's looking at it from a different perspective. And it's once you're kind of getting into and really looking within that pain, that's kind of where the gifts are.
Interesting.
Being
now,
able to
do you
discover
have
that.
clients? Do you have clients that come to you for chronic pain and to work through some of those issues?
I have had in the past, yes. So, and that's why I like to always say I kind of work with the coaching hub, because it is a combination of everything, right? It's the combination of coaching with the mindset, the emotions, but also working on the energy level, the physical level as well, I mean. So whether that's energetically, or is that through mind thought patterns, is that through meditation to relax your mind as well as your body? So there's so many different layers and levels to all of it that can help support people.
In the pandemic, obviously being with people has not been very possible, but how have you continued to stay in connection with your clients and your potential clients during this time?
Online for sure, yeah, because once you reach a certain level of Reiki, you can actually send a Reiki treatment to somebody at a distance. So of course, you can arrange whether you're on Zoom or whether you're on the phone, or it doesn't even have to be just at a prearranged time to be able to essentially give a Reiki treatment to someone, because I'm imagining their body is there on my massage table. So being able to give them a session that way. I've been teaching Reiki on Zoom. I teach Holy Fire Reiki, which I always like to call the evolution of Reiki. So the idea is we've come to a point where we're able to allow more Reiki energy to flow through. And so with Holy Fire Reiki, we're able to actually teach it online as well. So I have been doing that all throughout the pandemic, but also like with the Gene Keys work, coaching clients, of course, over Zoom, that works easily as well.
So was it difficult for you as a scientist, because that's, you've got your master's in science, so really a scientist, and energy work, was there a point where you had a real mind connection between the two, or were they difficult to join?
You know what? I think I realized very early on that it's all about energy, right? So if you think of it in the physics mind, so the whole idea of quantum fields and quantum atoms and all that sort of thing, over here, I'm working with the energy field, the quantum field, the information field. And that kind of goes also with working with the radionics too. It's like, that's the information field I'm working with. It's the same thing, right? So is just how we're able to affect things at a distance. And of course, in quantum physics, that's been proven.
Right. That's very interesting, because it is true. Energy of one source and energy of another. There's still energy. It's just how they work, right?
Yeah.
So how can people find out about your services, connect with you, and try and book a session with you?
Yeah, so of course, it all depends on the different types of sessions that they might be looking for. So whether it's coaching, Reiki session, whether they're looking to learn Reiki, whether they're looking to learn more about the Gene Keys and work coaching through that method as well. So my website is probably the easiest way. So that's www.wandadavis.ca, or my phone number is 226-374-9045. They can call or text, or of course, email is great too, which is wanda@wandadavis.ca.
And we're going to have all that information in the Park Bench site for them to also look up as well. So thank you for sharing that. Now, our site really loves and focuses on the Old South, Wortley Village, into Soho, and downtown into downtown. What can you tell me that you love about any of those particular areas?
Well, there's so many pluses and positives, right? So, of course, sometimes it all depends what I'm feeling like that day. So whether I am...
There's that energy.
Yeah, exactly. So, if I'm trying to really look after my health, of course, I'm, would love to go to Plant Matter Kitchen and Quartermaster. Like I'm always at Quartermaster picking up different supplements and things, and food, right? They have that as well if you want to cook something yourself. But then, of course, if I'm looking for more camaraderie with friends, I'm looking at the Old South Village pub, or I love the restaurants downtown too, right? It's like we love the Church Key. My husband and I go there often.
What are your plans over the next year?
Over the next year? Well, I am kind of in that transition time of my life where it's like, I'm thinking teaching is not going to be my primary occupation anymore. And it really hasn't been. I've only worked part-time in the last 5 years or so. So as I kind of, saying goodbye to teaching and therefore increasing my business more so, the speaking industry has really been hard hit with the pandemic. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes back in the end. So whether I start speaking more at different wellness events, so whether it's a local event or a conference or a convention somewhere. But I do quite see myself growing my business in terms of the coaching. So with the radionics, as I said, or because that can be on all levels, physical, mental, and emotional health, or with the Gene Keys, which is a great framework of information that really help people with their personal growth.
Do you ever connect with Paula Moran from Silver City
Yes.
Studios?
Yes,
She's
yes,
so lovely.
I know Paula.
She's a good
Yes.
friend. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
She and her
Yeah,
husband
well, I
are
know her
just-
through CAPS.
Yeah.
We've both been members of the Canadian Association for Professional Speakers, but then, yeah, I've known her on other levels as well.
There's a woman with a lot of amazing energy.
Yes, totally.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was sure a pleasure to get to know you and, you know, just finding out more about what you do, because that's something I really didn't know a lot about. So thank you so much for being here.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Dania.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Dania Parker-Smith with parkbench.com, South London-wortley. And if you're interested in having your business showcased here on the channel, please connect with me. I would be happy to set up a time to showcase what you do. So thank you so much. And I'm all about community and community support. So I hope that you continue to tune in and join us again for another episode.
Thank you so much.